Hey everyone, good afternoon or good morning, I guess, depending on where you are. But welcome to the YouTube channel. I am Devette. I am a Christian numerologist and a relationship coach. And as a spiritual entrepreneur, I know that there are so many people out there that have amazing gifts and talents. We all do. We have gifts and talents and special, unique ways of doing things. And I just want to highlight some really amazing people on this channel. And I hope that you will be blessed by it and learn something new and just hang out with us and have some fun. This is a pretty casual conversation, but I'm super duper excited to be talking to Nicol, introducing you to the public right now on this channel anyways. And I know you're a fitness, a mental trainer and a healer, holistic healer. And I can't wait to hear more about how all that works and what got you into this, what got you started, all your passions about it and all that good stuff. So yeah, if you want to introduce yourself and just, tell us more about you and what you do.
Yes, hi. I'm so pleased to be invited by you and to share the space with you today. So, hi everybody. And for me, it's evening already. It's 9 o'clock in the evening. Yeah. But I love this, time zone. This is really where it's like time and space things it's just flipping things around. So I love it. Yeah. And I'm working in the movement and fitness industry for like 25 years, something like this, or even more now. So I'm observing people for a very long time. I'm working with people in groups and in one-on-one for really, for quite some time. And I always loved sports. I loved movement. I, started out teaching classes and I was always dancing. I was a dancer. Then I studied sports. I put all those things together. After my study, I put an education of sports physiologist.
Okay.
So, and then I moved and also worked with professional athletes in a school, which was like a professional athlete for a school for professional athletes by itself. Yeah, so they have, different kind of schedules, and I was working with those. And then it got me into the mental training part, where it was like some of them needed relaxation, some of them needed a hype to get it going for the tournaments. And also working in personal training for, even before that, for so many years, where so many things need to get together. So over the years, having all those groups, then I started to, I was always, you have those things, as you said, you have those gifts. So I was always feeling people and stuff like this. So then I felt the groups and stuff. And then, at a certain point in my journey, just training people, it was it started to get a little disaligned by feeling what the bodies really needed, instead of just getting trained the way our mind says, like, I need to work out, it's got to be tough, it's got to be hard, if I don't sweat, there's no gain. So, and all the bodies were screaming at me like, but I need something totally different. I get goosebumps just saying this.
Yeah.
So, and this is when I also, and even, for myself, I just today had the sentence again where I was like, for all these years, I'm looking at my body in front of the mirror because I'm teaching in the gyms and stuff like this, but I wasn't, there were times where I wasn't looking at myself, like, internally. So my body was fit. I could move every muscle. I could dance. I could do all those things. But, then I got struck down by accidents and those kind of things, which of course happened.
Wow. Yeah.
And I was, I had a time where I was literally laying down and lying there, rehabilitating, having to start to learn walking again. And
yeah. Wow. Really?
I had to flip the script from like, so, okay, if I can't move my physics at the moment, what is moving me? Where's my mental moving, my mental state moving me? And, it's also like, it felt like a burnout thing coming up. So all these things switched around me, and I was like, this is pretty interesting, as I'm, I think I'm pretty, a self-reflective person. So I was observing you from all those different angles. Yeah,
Yeah,
and what
self-evaluating, figuring it all out.
exactly. So, and as I always said, those people, then my views started changing, like reflected all back on me, the people that you have around yourself. And I started to also go into the energetic healing education. And this took me for like years. I was always interested. But then I went from, mostly you do your things for yourself. So I cleared a lot of the genetic topics. I mean, it never stops. It's never perfect. And this is what is perfect. So more and more those things merged into each other, where I was always like, we store everything in our body, every thought, every word, every experience, if it's an accident, if it's a long thing going on. So, and then even my personal training started changing, and, it switched into a coaching training where, because people always bring the topic, they bring themselves. So, and sometimes it was more just the conversation than really about moving the body. So, this is where all the mental things come back in. So I'm somebody who, connects to people through the heart, so I don't care if it's a high person, if it's a low person, if it's a child, and, the age. So for me, it's always an eye-to-eye connection. And then just, questions pop in for me when I connect to the people. It's like, their system's talking to me, their body is talking to me, whatever they are saying, they're talking to me. And I also started to switch it around to see, every connection with the people as a mirror for myself, as, whatever is the key that I also
Wow.
get. So,
Yeah, that's powerful.
yeah. So, and it's so interesting. So I'm always like, okay, whatever somebody's telling me, what's the message for me? And however I'm speaking to somebody, what is maybe my own answer by telling something to somebody. So yeah, this is the way I love to work, and I love to connect, and I love to support people by doing this. And just today I'm also working in school, and I did meditation there, I do sports there, and just today I was, it's sometimes if it's the one drop in the ocean. And just a little kid today, he was like, yeah, because of your of the things we do, I started playing basketball, because we were playing basketball. And he, in the first session we did it, he was like, I can't even dribble, it's a small guy. And he's so much improved, and he's like, just through this, what we did, I found the love to basketball, and now I'm playing in a team. And I was like, these are the things that so light me up, and I'm so happy about those kind of things, and if it's somebody coming to me, I had those people they were like, I was sitting in an opera, and just by clapping, I felt my new alignment, and people saw me in a new alignment. And I'm like, this is just the nicest things, when you see how people take, whatever you inspire them to do. It's not, I don't have to change the people. It's just the, opening the doors to what they're ready for. And this is, my passion and my biggest pleasure. As you see,
I can tell. I get your passion. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It seems like you really get the power that you have. And it's really not that hard once you're aligned with it and you really get it. It's like magical, right? You can then like spark something in somebody else, kind of even without them realizing it, inspiring them and giving them that different perspective of what's possible, what's available for them when their mindset is maybe negative, or doubt, or they don't believe in themselves. Sometimes it just takes that one person to believe in them, or to say, you can do this, you got this. That like before we hopped on this call, we were saying how different the last couple of years were, starting from the the pandemic and this whole thing, and we haven't fully recovered yet. At the same time, everything's changing, and it seems like a lot more people are coming up, like in the spiritual space, like in the energetic healing and the mindset, and like I think people are more open to that. Are you finding that with people that you're working with? Are you seeing more openness to it?
Yeah, it's I don't want to say it's a trend, because this is something, but I do also observe it. So and sometimes I really have to keep my heart open, because as everybody's popping up and like, yeah, I'm doing this now. It's those short-term things also
Right.
arriving. So it's a big market. And sometimes people are asking like, so when did you start? And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm literally doing this forever in my life, you know.
Yeah.
So and this is where I'm sometimes like, you know, I didn't have to flee from a job. This is my job, this is my passion, this is what is me. And I'm very, very, you know, thankful to you know, that some source is leading me the way that I'm supposed to, and even, you know, taking different turns, like, you know, at the moment, you know, having to share different jobs. But I know I'm always right with the work with people, you know, with connecting to people. And you said something very, very significant, where I'm like, yeah, you know, like sometimes inspiring or changing people's perspective without them even realizing. And this is actually something that happens to me very, very often. Like if people are only in a talk with me, and then they, you know, start creating a new offer, they change their price, they turn around and start, you know, I don't know, a new kind of sports the next day. And it, you know, it wasn't like, oh, now we do a coaching or a session or something like this. It was just a talk, it was just a conversation. And this is just the way it's going. So, you know, it's those spots where like, yeah, it's just gotta be, it's what I am. So, you know, that's where I'm like, I'm, you know, yeah, deeply honored to, you know, but walk around having those gifts in me, you know, sharing those moments, which, you know, lights the person up and lights me up just the same way. Yeah.
And I think you get something really different about it too, because you said you connect with people with your heart. And I mean, a lot of people have been so closed in their heart, like they've maybe had their heart broken or they've been disappointed. And, you know, so people are just constantly walking around with their heart guarded and closed off. And when you actually connect with them with their heart, sometimes nothing needs to be said because it's a felt, right? It's a feeling, it's an energetic like connection that is beyond what like our conscious mind can make up about it. So you touch somebody in that kind of way and it kind of like opens up, you know, the little crack of the door, you know, opens up a little bit and lets that light in. And I think people are just so thirsty for it right now.
That's it. Yeah. And it's even, I mean, you know, to me, it's something so normal because this is just my essence. But I also have to and always have to remind me that this is something pretty special. You know, and to start observing this and to be totally okay. I got my heart broken, I got hurt and stuff like this. But still, you know, sometimes I'm like, but already as a child, I had these, maybe it was my first, you know, crush in school where I was like, yeah, but still, you know, I felt like I always had this picture of my heart is like a well and it just doesn't stop. So, and I'm grateful, you know, and if this is pouring into the world and exactly touching people's hearts to melt and to let the heart bloom again, I'm more than happy to be a person to share this, you know, openness, to share the getting in touch with yourself again. Because I also said like my mission is to give the people their body back, which is our home. So, and I just had the other day, I also had a class, you know, and a talk with a person, and it's like it's just the touch on the heart when we even talk about alignment and, you know, lifting us up. It's all about, you know, whatever, it's in the movement or it's just a touch or it's getting in touch with me. That's where, you know, I was like, this journey, I'm so thankful about the journey. And I always say like I'm just more authentic, even if it's not nice, but if I do have accidents and things in my body that show me all these spots and where our bodies and the language is so direct and so spot on in wherever my topic is, like, you know, I carry the weight on my shoulders, you know, I can't breathe, I'm in shock. And, you know, we all have this saying right away, which we sometimes just say, but to get the awareness of it and to really mirror the people like, yep, your body, your system is telling you something. So we sometimes speak out, you know, outside, but
Yeah.
our body is trying to get the message to us inside that something is in dis-ease, is in, not aligned, is
Yeah.
that we are not embodied in ourselves. And these are, that's why I also, love to also work with the language, because whatever we are speaking is like pretty spot on, and nobody is as truthful to ourselves than our body. So
Right.
yeah.
I love that. Yeah, you're right. I've studied that a little bit too, as far as like how we our beliefs, the things that we say, it manifests in our body, right? Like if it's good and it's positive, it's kind of light and it flows easy. But when it's like
Mhm.
negative or dark, it's kind of like
Yeah.
slower and it stays in our body. And I I've observed this with like older people, like elderly, and you see them, their body broken down, and it's almost like you can tell what the thought process is. You see people kind of hunched over, and I'm like, huh, they probably
Exactly.
have always felt the weight of the world on their shoulders.
Mhm.
Or, the lines start coming in, and you see somebody who's, they look sad, and
Yeah.
they have these, they can't walk and very well. And it's like, huh, I wonder if they were scared to move forward and take steps forward, and the
Yeah.
body's kind of telling you that. And I love how you said that you give people their body back, right? And that's like, yeah, that's so powerful. You do the body, mind, and soul, so you align that together with them.
Yeah, it's one thing, as you said, with the language, our brain doesn't separate if something is coming from the outside, or if the message comes from the outside or from the inside. So, and we know we have the chit chat a lot.
Yeah.
It's not, sometimes it's not only just one person thinking, it's the me. So it's even more voices that
Yeah.
are like, yeah, I gotta do this, no, you shouldn't, and stuff. It's all these things going around. And exactly, this is literally, that's why it's called belief system. Belief system. Like I say something so long and so often till I believe it. So and this can go vice versa. And then you also said something about it feels faster in the if it's a good feeling, and it feels slower if it's a sad feeling.
Yeah.
I also just, not so long ago, I also love to dive. Always, I'm a root thinker, so I like to dive deep in those
Yeah.
topics. And as we also have this change in relationships, and both parties are working, it doesn't work any different, and what's the nature in it, and so many divorces because everybody's so independent. It's such a big topic.
Yeah.
So I started to also get interested more in the feminine and the masculine energies, which we all carry in ourselves. And so many men and women get taken aware of their masculinity, of their femininity. We tend to be more masculine because we work differently, and then the men can support or provide in the same way they are supposed to be, like by nature, all these things. So then I you come across the part of the emotions, which is like energy in motion. So I was like, to put those things together, as we all get like, oh, crying is, stop crying, don't be sad, but it's energy. And if we push it aside, it, as you said, everything is stored in our body, in the mind, in the body. It does something to our well-being. So and exactly, every emotion is just an energy, so to speak, again, to just make it neutral. And it carries energy in a different potency. So it lifts you up, it gets you down, it shakes you around, it goes gets you crazy, things like this. Yeah, but it's all okay. And as long as we're as children, or like the little ones, as long as nobody said like, oh, now you're sad, now you're angry. Little children don't know. They just burst out in tears, let it all out, and then they're fine. It's like the animals, they get haunted, then they shake themselves, and they start playing
Going
around.
about their business. Yeah. Yeah. You see that like
Yeah.
with ducks a lot, right? Like they're in a pond, they'll fight, and then they
Mhm.
shake it off, and then they're just about their merry
Yeah.
way, and they're not analyzing it or processing it. They let it flow. It's just like natural. And us humans, we like have to interpret it. We have to make something up about it. We have to like identify it, and then it's like confuses us, and it's all that like mental chatter in our head telling us one thing and the other, and yeah, we're going crazy. So
Yeah, exactly. And this is the part where where I love to bring the awareness to those things again, which is, it's always connected exactly to our health, to our body, the way we move. Do we move? So many times, or how many people did I welcome in my classes that thought they had to do something, but they didn't want to do it. So the body didn't want to do it. So literally they didn't do it. And I was always like, I can't do it for you. I can do 175%, but it's not getting into your body if you don't do it. So even if you take, an hour, or you train for half a year, but you don't like it, then it's not, it's literally not working. Then it's not, then people comes like, oh, nothing is changing. And, there are so many things clicking into each other that we, are, well, just not aware of. And we think we have to do it exactly, like we think we have to analyze things sometimes, which we maybe just shouldn't or needn't or mustn't, or so, and it's though,
that's kind of like our ego mind, I guess, right? It has to understand it, and our heart just like allows it, right? We just like, and I think we've switched from our heart to our head for so long, and now it's time for us to go back to our heart and heal our bodies. I like how you said that, when you don't want to do something, and you feel that resistance, even just saying the words nothing's changing makes nothing change. So and they don't realize that. So and you find too that a lot of times if someone is going to do something, take a class or learn something new, and they don't really want to do that, all of a sudden their body starts getting sick, or they catch a cold, or all these things happen to keep them away from doing what they're telling themselves, I don't really want to do this, I have to do it. So their body is like, okay, we'll just get you sick and you won't have to do it. And kind of sneaky like that, but
and it starts with the little signs, and then sources get louder, universe get louder, and and if you don't listen, it gotta get, it has to be louder. So
it starts screaming at you, right? If you're not paying attention, it'll just start it'll start screaming at you, and you'll all of a sudden have cancer. You'll have some major something that I remember my youngest daughter, when she was going to high school out here, she didn't like the school. Neither of my daughters did. It was very cliquey and very like a little snooty, and my daughters really weren't like that. They're very just kind of humble and just real, I guess. They didn't like it, and so my daughter she'd wake up every single morning with a headache. What is going on? Until I finally changed her schools, and oh my goodness, she aced her classes, she graduated with 2 jobs, and she was so happy. And I didn't realize that till after that. I'm like, the headaches, the not wanting to be there.
I have goosebumps all over, and it's those things exactly. And sometimes we are so scared of change, so scared of, and I totally relate, because then it's like, oh, kids like rituals, we all do like this every day, then it's good, it's it keeps us in a rhythm and a flow.
Easy.
And that's sometimes why we don't take the necessary change, but our bodies or our systems are screaming at us, like with discomfort, with disease, with some things that it's like, I had the same thing. I did an apprenticeship, and literally I really got sick. And at that time I was still living with my parents, and I was like, Mom, I can't go there anymore. This was the first time where I was like, it got me sick, because I didn't feel good there. I wasn't treated well and stuff like this. So and it's and I started to, as a as a service person, as a self-employed, you always have to go, I'm a stage person, keep on smiling, the show must go on. And it's all good in this part, but I also had to learn, and I got humbled by, I had to listen to myself. I had to, and I'm still in the, we're still in the process of really trusting and listening the gut. There we go. And I just started reading about the womb activation, which also, it's not only the men. I think it's not only the women, the men. We all got this womb where we create, where we birth our ideas, or everything we want to put into life. And it's so interesting. It's so
I
interesting.
haven't heard of that. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So is it a matter of nurturing that side, or just understanding it so that maybe your ideas flow easy, or whatever it is you're trying to create happens kind of with more energetic flow, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's this listening, not sometimes, always. We do have this inner voice, and which is the true guidance.
Yeah.
Very often we are like, but nah, I got to do this, I got to go that way, this makes more sense logically, now I should be doing this. So we take this voice aside. And it's the same thing, even if it's a headache, or this voice comes back and then things don't work out, or and this is, as you said, to connect the ego is an important part. It's our survival mechanisms also. So we always speak about ego death. So it's a wide topic to talk about.
Yeah.
The heart, and then we have the gut and the womb. So to get this in connection, to get those guys talking to each other, like literally moving, as you say, to bring in a flow. So in best case, everybody is working together. Like, so what's my gut feeling about it? Of course, I check in with my mind. Am I going, sometimes it's like, this is a crazy idea.
Right.
Sometimes it needs those, we wouldn't have lied and things like that, if those crazy people wouldn't be like, I don't care. I don't care. It makes sense. Let's try it. So, like, even what's the bumblebees are the big ones, right?
Yeah.
I think
there's like the wasps and the bumblebees.
It's the bigger ones, right?
They're
like, I think they're not supposed to fly, but they just do it because they, like, from their body size and things, like, they fly. So many things, are created to these birthing, just do it processes. So to sit, when we receive, when we get the babies, we don't move, we sit, we let things grow. When the seed is in the ground, we water it, we don't carry it around, or like when we do it, it's not going to grow. So, and everything gets so fast. So to sit with those answers we have inside of us all the time. And we have those moments where it's like, I knew this, I had this little blink of an idea, I just put it aside, and mostly those things come back. I had so many of these situations where I was like, okay, for the sake of the good of keeping the peace, getting things going. And I knew in those moments it's gonna be like this and that. It always turned out like that. Yeah,
it's like we have this inner knowing, then we don't pay attention to it, and it's so revealing. I mean, sometimes you get a gut feeling that you shouldn't do something, and then you don't listen to it, and then something happens. And it's like, I knew something was going to happen, or I just had this feeling. You hear people say that a lot, and that's so powerful. So what you do is you help people connect the two, right? So then you help them listen to everything that their body is saying, help them interpret what their body is trying to tell them, what their gut feelings are, and to improve their lives. Do you work with a specific type of person? Like, do you just work with athletes or entrepreneurs, or who's like your typical client?
Well, of course I'm open to everybody, because I know it's always like
Okay.
you got to narrow it down, but I did do work with all of those people.
Yeah.
So I'm open for everybody. And my age is literally from the little children in school where I did meditation and awareness training to people that don't I think my oldest person started personal training with me when he was 70. So
Oh, wow.
so they've been a business person, or literally that's why, or people come to me and they are in business, want to change business. So it's a mindset thing, it's a body thing,
Right.
all these, even the discipline to get something going business wise. It's good things matching. Exactly. So I'm just happy and welcome to work with people that are open to this kind of work, that do get the the hint, like it's not only the discipline, it's not only the training, it's not only how do I get my business going. So for a while now already, my body, I think something is not right. People can tell, most of the times, like they have problems, they have pain. So to get into the journey and, to start at one point, for me, literally, I don't care at what point we start, but to start at a point, but then the person got to be ready. And this is the moment when it's like, oh, I think I should take the first step. And I'm more than happy and, welcome everybody who might listen to it and it's like, okay, yeah, now this could be related to this, and that's why my body is, or I don't sleep good, and I'm running in circles with this kind of things. And sometimes it's one question, it's just a change of perspective. It's the way, as we already had in the beginning, the way I speak about it is maybe not getting me to any other place. Of course, there's this saying, like, if you want to know how you feel tomorrow, what's the thoughts of today? What's your thoughts of today? So, and if we always speak the same thing, as you said, then things don't change. When we want to change habits, it does take a little. I just had also a call with a couple of people yesterday, and it's training. Sometimes we want to do this. Some things are really, like, if I make a decision, and for example, I say, like, I did it like this. Tomorrow I start running. I did, and I've started running every day from that day on. I made this decision, but then I got to train. Nothing changed if I don't take my sneakers and start running. And this is the same thing. So if I really do want to change things, and please be aware that, I'm not the one doing the job for you. I can't heal nobody. I can't do the running for nobody. We can, but I can support you. I uplift you. I motivate you. I activate things. I show you, different perspectives. I give you ideas. I give you methods. And this is exactly as we said, we're still in this process of so much change. And, if you've been through change in your life, which I've also been, and always found my way through it. I'm more than happy to share all those journeys and share the methods I figured out. And sometimes it needs big doings, and sometimes it needs the slowing down, and to find even like, what's my pace, what's my tempo in those things. It's not everybody's made for running, not everybody's made for yoga. Sometimes people that are like, no, that's not my thing, I don't even want to close my eyes, speaks louder than
what you're afraid of, or what's and I love that you have the skill and the foresight to be able to see that someone doesn't want to go running, they hate running, but what they really want is to get in shape, and they think they have to go running to do it. But you can help see, well, you don't have to go running, you can actually do yoga, or you can do dance, or you can
so many things. Exactly.
And people get confused, right?
Because we get washed over by so many things. Like then there are trends. So now it's this, and now it's that. And I say this in total honor to yoga itself, but everything at the moment's got to be yoga. Like the simplest workout nowadays is yoga. No, it's still a workout. Yoga is so old, and it's such a great philosophy. It's there's so much more in it. That's why I'm that in deep humble bowing to this so long old journey what the people are doing. And I also saw a really nice thing that and I always like to share it, that yoga is the body preparation for the meditation.
Okay.
So and even there is like nowadays sometimes it's yoga is, for example, just a little example. That's why I'm saying find there are more active ways of yoga, more so there are of course so many things also, but it's to get out of this topic, but it's our body. What does my body want to do? What kind of movement person am I? Am I a fast mover? Am I a slow mover? What is my tempo? Sometimes that's why sometimes people think they got a pace with it, but this makes them more sick then, because my movement is slower. For example, like my sister is a total, I'm the sports person, she is not. So, and sometimes people are like, they do this even in the house. And some people are like, when they, I don't know, peel off a potato, it's like, and somebody might stand next to it, it's like, damn, can you hurry up? But this is sometimes where you see those things. So, and I'm observing the people there, and then I get those sentences that people speak, but their body to me is saying something totally different, and to reconnect those, those two in a way is it's
That's powerful.
Yeah, and it's so, it brings peace. It literally brings so much peace. And it's not just powerful, it brings the power back for the things you really want to do. So, sometimes when you procrastinate, it's because we're empty. There's nothing left we can give, because we give it to so many places, but not to ourselves, not in the I don't even want to say right there, but not in the aware, in the conscious way. Like, what do I really need? It's the same with food, and like what does my body really need? Do I really listen to my cravings, or can I feel my cravings? When am I hungry? Am I a morning person? Am I, what is my biological rhythm in those things? It's it's so interesting to bring all those systems together that they are running smoothly. And if sometimes it's like, if we also just think for a second, like we have, I don't know, so many cells in our bodies, millions and trillions, and you know what they do? They work their little tiny cell butts off all the time for us, and they die for each other. Like, the skin inside, the blood, they just, this is going on in every single moment in our lives. And it's like, of course I'm walking, of course I'm breathing, and of course I'm blinking my eyes, but everything, this is my body doing for me. So whenever I want to change something, my body is always like, I'm up for it. I'm there for you. And our bodies, they also balance things out as long as they can. The system, the body is like, that's not really the good thing for me, but I'm gonna do it somehow for you, until the system can. And this is when it starts to speak, like pain or some things. Here we go with the my body is speaking to me. It's not a bad thing. So sometimes we start cursing over ourselves, like, why but in the first place it was me. It starts with me. And to get into a compassion place with myself, like, okay, if I would be really honest with me, I didn't listen to this, I didn't do this, and the list goes on and on. So
that's important to check in, right? I like to call it being like a self-cleaning oven. You got to
that's so nice.
Check in and ask, how have I been thinking lately? What have I been, even, what music have I been listening to,
Yeah.
or what movies or the news, why is my body telling me this? And yeah, that's so important. So basically, anybody that feels that they're not aligned, or maybe there's some sort of breakdown and they need to, maybe they can't identify it, so they would come to you. And you, so do you just work with people in person, or you do online, you do Zoom with people?
Yes,
Okay.
nowadays, of course, we're all able to, and we had to align
Yeah.
with all those things. Yes, I'm more than happy, and everybody's welcome in my space and in my place. So of course, in person is great, but as the world gets, just in one place, as we can do it online, this is just the greatest, and I'm more than happy to connect to everybody who feels drawn to working with me. And yeah, exactly, like maybe has a topic and it's like, oh, I really need a new pair of eyes, and another view, and what can I do, and how can I start? And I'm running in circles with my mindset about this topic. So, and sometimes it's, there's the work with the inner children, we have our family system. So it sometimes it needs to go deeper than or to dig a little deeper. That's why that's why I started working with this, because I was interested in the root causes, like to go there. Not always we have to know the topics or the story behind it, but sometimes it's depending on the person also. And I sometimes really like to be like, oh, it was this, so I can change the picture, I can rearrange the picture. It's, I can get aware of like, but now I'm the leader of myself in my life. So to, disconnect in a loving way from people I'm still attached to, or things and places. Yeah, exactly. So everybody who feels, drawn and stuck in some kind of way, I'm more than pleased to get things moving, to get the mind moving, to get the body moving,
I
to
love
get
that.
in.
So if anybody is wanting to get a hold of you, how can they find you?
I'm on Facebook. I'm
Okay.
also on Instagram. And I do have a website also, which is called Medomotion.
Middle motion.
Genau. It's called MEDOMOTION.
Okay.
.de
Meadow
because I'm
motion.
in
Okay.
genau, yeah. And it's .de because I'm in Germany.
Okay. And I'll put the links at the bottom of this video.
Perfect.
Once I upload it, I'll put all the links. I'll put your Facebook, your Instagram, and your website, and email, or whatever else you want to give that we can upload. And yeah, I think that's amazing. You're doing wonderful work. People are so out of whack, and they don't know how to get back in line. They don't know, what it is. And you being able to look deeper and really have the skill, 25 years, you said, right, of working with people, knowing how to dig deeper and finding that specific thing. And like you said, it could be a small tweak, or it could be a big tweak, but being able to identify that. I'm sure a lot of people think that they need a lot of work, and maybe you come in and you say you actually just need
Exactly.
this little
That's
thing,
why I'm, and thank you for saying this, because that's why sometimes at the moment, it doesn't always have to be a 12-week programs. There are things that are not done with the 12-week programs, because it's a process. It does take a little longer, but this is also something you can, sometimes it takes one session and the person is like, wow, and this is just great. So of course I can, we can walk along and a longer way with each other, but it doesn't always have to be. So I really open the space for people, that are like, yeah, but then it's got to be so long. It depends. Be open, and that's why feel free to reach out to me, and we can, take a first look, and then, things come up, and it's always open to, it doesn't always have to be a block of 10 hours. So we can also go from 1-to-1. Exactly, like
you work with them, and you can kind of figure out tailor-made, maybe something for them of what
totally the individual and tailor-made. This is exactly. and I love it like this because everybody, you know, is an individual in itself. And even if we are all the same and we do have the same topics, but somebody has this pace and another one has another pace. So we just talked about it also, like sometimes it starts, you know, improvement starts quick, but then you have a peak and it's like, and it feels you're going backwards, but you're just kind of integrating. So, you know, to get the awareness of those kind of things also is also something really important to, you know, talk about and be aware about. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, you're doing some really amazing things out there.
Thank
God bless you for that. I love that.
Yeah. I
You know,
love doing
definitely,
it with all my
I
heart.
can
Yeah.
tell. I can feel your passion. I literally
Yeah.
feel it. I can tell how much like you love it. Like it's something that you
Yeah.
just like really enjoy. And usually that comes from being skilled at it. So it's obviously a gift that you have that you're not resisting or pushing away or against. It's
Yeah.
something that you embrace, and that's powerful. That's wonderful, and that's, you know, so many people are in need, from children to adults,
Oh.
that need some sort, because I mean life is short. So now we have Zoom, we have technology.
Mhm.
You know, there's no excuse if, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
anybody is feeling out of line or not right with themselves, or their body's
Yeah.
screaming something at them and you don't know how to interpret it. You know, please get hold of Nicole, and obviously she knows her stuff. She'll get, you know, you squared away and taken care of. Do you have any final advice or closing thoughts that you want to give?
Oh, you know, just one thing for everybody is like take a couple of moments in the day and take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, you know, and this is you know, I'm a Pilates trainer, and I also did so many nice breath work things, and it's an island. One breath it's a whole island, it's a whole world, and it also can literally change us in just 1 second. So, you know, just as a
Wow.
giveaway for everybody, hold up. Yeah, exactly. And
I
this
mean,
is
that in
also,
itself just feels good.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I so appreciate your time and giving me an opportunity to get to know you and interview you. I feel inspired, literally just sharing this time with you. I feel your energy and I feel that inspiration. And so I am so excited to have connected with you and bring you out to the public. And, you know, for anybody out there watching, you know, even if it's maybe you're feeling okay, but somebody in your family's feeling like they're not aligned, or you know somebody, your child's off or something, you know, get a hold of Nicole, see, you know, if there's something you guys, you know, can work out. But it's worth it. Life is too short to live in pain and out of alignment. So yeah, so with that, thank you, Nicole. I so
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
you so much. And to everybody else, you know, we'll, I guess, see you on the next episode. I hope everybody has a very blessed rest of your day, and we'll talk to you later.